Shalom, Shalom, and welcome. My name is Symmanayah, and I'd like to welcome you to the White Rose Family Channel. My brothers and sisters, there's a lot of noise going on right now. There's a lot of talk among believers, followed with uncertainty. There's not much to be said of what we should be doing during these end times. But let me say this first. These messages are for those who are drawn by the Almighty Creator, the Almighty Father Yahuah, to Yahusha Mashiach, whom I believe is indeed his word, manifest before us, sacrificed, resurrected, whom I believe sent his set-apart spirit in Yahusha's name, as the scriptures present. My brothers and sisters, I want to say this. The views expressed in these messages do not necessarily reflect the views of the owners, management, shareholders, or sponsors of this media platform. With that said, again, my name is Symmanayah, and this is the White Rose Family Channel. I want to bring to your attention that as end times are ramping up, as uncertainty is growing widespread, do not believe for a second that the Almighty Father is not unfolding his plans before our very eyes. I want you to visit Revelations, 7th chapter. I want you to read how it speaks of 144,000, but I don't want you to stop there. I invite you to read the entire chapter, but make no mistake. If you read further down to the 9th verse, you'll see there's also a great multitude of many nations, kindreds, and tongues, of which no man can number. I want to also bring your attention to the 14th verse, which talks about this great multitude. That includes the 144,000. Whose robes are washed and made white in the blood of the Lamb. Many people go to the other chapter in Revelation that speaks of the 144,000 being sealed and being on Mount Zion. I submit to you, when people talk about the scriptures interpret themselves, they make mistakes. So they believe that the 144,000 that were sealed, that was it. But I submit to you, all those of end time prophecies who have been all those have been sealed to protect them in order to fulfill what is written regarding the final Exodus. You see, so when people say the scriptures interpret themselves and use academic prowess opposed to allowing the Spirit make alive what is meant, everyone that will be gathered from the four corners of the earth cannot fit on top of the mountain. The 144,000 was on the plateau. And if you ask anyone about the true Mount Sinai, there is a huge plateau. And they sung a song, as the scriptures mention. But that passage does not necessarily mean it was just 144,000 that was sealed. It was just 144,000 that was on the plateau. The great multitude was around the true Mount Sinai, which is currently known as Jabal al-Lawz. As you listen to the messages on this channel, I want you to realize that it came to a point where I was compelled to begin presenting a series called The Final Exodus Countdown 2023. I believe this is the countdown towards the gathering from the four corners of the earth, before the physical return of Yahusha Mashiach. But let me say this, my brothers and sisters. As you read the 7th chapter of Revelation, as you grow to realize that it's not just 144,000, but it's all those who have been called by the Almighty Father, who have been drawn by him, you will grow to learn your position, what tasks are ordered of you. There are some who will fall away. There will be some led astray for various reasons. Unbelief, still on milk, rebellion, various reasons. But there will be those that must fulfill what is written, O Yashar'al. Again, I consider you, if you're one who seeks to do the will of the Almighty Father, I consider you my brother, my sister, my family. I want you to also visit Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12, when he talks about gathering from the four corners of the earth. I also want you to look at Isaiah 43, 5 through 7, where you'll see he said, those that he had formed for his esteem. There are those that have been formed for the purposes of fulfilling the final Exodus, and those who will not. And there are many false teachings to lead you to believe that all of Yashar'al, because there are scriptures that say all and none would be left behind. I submit to you, remember the scriptures speak of martyrs. The scriptures also speak of going to sleep, dying. You say, what do you mean? There's widespread destruction and widespread death that will occur during the tribulation period. And I submit to you, those that are the Almighty Fathers, those who belong to the set-apart family, the set-apart nation of Yashar'al, many will die. So they're not necessarily left behind. Their bodies return to the earth like someday ours will. Or I could be among those that die. But there will be those physically alive gathered from the four corners of the earth to fulfill what is written. And I believe that time is coming, O Yashar'al. And I want you to not be deceived when people say everybody or all, and they show you a verse that say all. See, it say all. It all interprets itself. All those who have been chosen for his esteem to fulfill that final exodus will fulfill that final exodus. Think about it. Some of our brothers and sisters have passed away already, are gone to sleep. I speak in details of this final exodus on this channel. I speak in detail regarding things that must be taken into consideration for a set-apart and awakening nation. I also want you, my brothers and sisters, to know this. The Almighty Father will indeed refine us. Out of his discipline, we will recognize what it means by judgment begins at the house of Yahuah first. We will recognize and yield. I want you to also visit Leviticus 23rd chapter, my brothers and sisters. Why is this important? For this final exodus, O Yashar'al, we will witness unity shaped among a large group of people. And some say, well, it's just a remnant. It's a remnant. I sought the face of the Almighty Father for instruction. And I believe in the name of Yahusha, he revealed to me that it will be a remnant, but it will be millions, tens of millions that will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. But when you compare it to the total population, it represents a fraction, a remnant. This is how you can have a remnant and a great multitude, and the scriptures are made whole and understood. So I say to you, O Yashar'al, there is much work to be done. And I reach out to you, and I present the messages that I am compelled to present before you. On this slide, if you are looking at this slide, or if you're listening, I list the 7 major feast times. And there is a reason for that. While many look at the feast times as gathering and festivities and socializing or fellowship, they fail to mention that the feast times present a key blueprint in the vetting, examining, and judgment of Yashar'al in many ways. For instance, O Yashar'al, in Passover, there was instruction given, and those who obeyed, lives were spared. But there were those that were killed that did not obey. So Passover means instructions to life, instructions to obedience that yield life. And so we receive this life, what then? Unleavened bread. We must learn the difference between right or wrong. We are taught, and we will be taught, and many have not presented this, but after you discover life in Yahusha, made possible by the sacrifice, resurrection, and the plan of the Almighty Father Yahuah. Once you discover this life, we must learn to grow and mature so that we can discern the difference between good and evil. You see, unleavened is uninfluenced by man. Leaven means influence. So you will read in scriptures at times where leaven is used and okay. But the Feast of Unleavened Bread is to get us to understand that we must know how to discern between good and evil. So as we walk this path, O Yashar'al, some will get things quicker than others. Some will receive quicker than others. Thus the first fruits. And if we understand, if you're one who receives something quicker than someone else, understand that the harvest will come. Others will get it. And intermittently, O Yashar'al, as the Spirit of Yahuah, in the name of Yahusha, work in us, through us, one towards another, we will discover that there will be times some of us will get things before the other. Then the Feast of Harvest, when in mass numbers, we will grow to know and discern what must be done, especially during these end times, O Yashar'al. And in our excitement, we will rejoice and shout. In our excitement, we will proclaim that judgment has come, as the Almighty Father has said it would be. In our excitement, we will acknowledge that the wrath of Yahuah will be present. In our excitement, we will recognize his discipline. You see, there are three things that must and will occur, O Yashar'al. The discipline of the Almighty Father, his vengeance, and his wrath. These things are promised. And in our excitement, as we blow the shofar, or as we make a joyful noise, or as we proclaim the actions of the Almighty Father during these end times, we'll stumble, we'll fall, too excited. And then we have the Feast of Atonement, saying in all the excitement, the blood of the Lamb, the blood of Yahusha is washing us, making us clean, making us white by his power and might spiritually. And there will be those who will literally wear white robes. But atonement, the atoning blood of Yahusha Mashiach, will give us the ability as we find ourselves being gathered, disciplined, and refined for the purposes of fulfilling the things that are written. We will understand how by quickly repenting when we stumble and fall, by quickly getting under the blood of the Lamb, how the power of atonement makes us new so that we can have the audacity, the strength, and the fortitude to press on as things begin to ramp up during these end times. And then there's the Feast of Tabernacle or Booth. Here the scriptures want us to know the structure of our being. You see, this body is a tabernacle. Even two or more gathered in his name makes a tabernacle. Together, Yashar'al as a whole makes a tabernacle. And we must recognize there is the physical and literal, and there is the spiritual. And within the physical, we find that each man has his spirit. We find that each woman has a spirit. Each child has a spirit. And these spirits are joined with the Almighty Father Yahuah through Yahusha Mashiach, his word, his plan. Yashar'al, O Yashar'al, truly uncertainty is here. I want you to begin looking around, thinking about how you're living right now. And I submit to you, there are three major factors that will begin to rise to be top of mind now and in the coming days. That's water, food, shelter, or a safe place. And then I may add a fourth, breathable air. Yashar'al, Yashar'al. On this channel, you will find a series called The Closing Scroll. I invite you sincerely to listen to it, for the scrolls have begun closing. Listen to it, my brothers and sisters. Come and listen to the words I've placed before you. I invite your comments, your questions, your answers, your connection. I am confident that those that are drawn by the Almighty Father, we will come together and there will be unity, and it will come at a price of sacrificing ourselves before the Almighty Father and rising up in the strength and with the fortitude to press into fulfilling what is written. On that note, I say to you, Yashar'al, from four corners we will come, and we will come to the area known as the true mountain of Yahuah, Mount Sinai, the true Mount Sinai, currently known as Jabal Al-Laws. We will come and return to the promised land, those who have been formed for his esteem to fulfill this final charge before the physical return. We will soon see two witnesses of revelation, something that has puzzled many people. The answer will come, for I believe these are the last two major shepherds for Yashar'al before the physical return of Yahusha Mashiach. And I speak on this on multiple occasions, and I speak on it on more detail. The final Exodus, countdown 2023. My brothers and sisters, I explain how I believe the month known as December 2023 will prove that our final Exodus will come to be. You see, O Yashar'al, on December 21st of 2020, there was a great conjunction, a great star, a bright star that many believe was the same star when Yahusha Mashiach was born of the virgin birth. And in 1623, something occurred. And 400 years from 1623, you see, many of us have thought about this final Exodus and say our 400 years is up because we were using 1619. But something occurred in 2023, and 400 years from 2023, 400 years from 1623 is 2023. Take 1623 and add 400 years, that gives you 2023. My brothers and sisters, there are a lot of factors that occurred that led me to believe that marking, and I want you to search Great Conjunction 2020. I'm sorry, my brothers and sisters, forgive me. I'm just excited. I want you to search Great Conjunction 1623. Read the article dealing with Great Conjunction. You will find the year 1623. 400 years from 1623 is 2023, my brothers and sisters. That, along with some other things that have compelled me over 40 years ago, I had a phenomenal dream of the planets lining up and the influence of the sign from Jupiter and Saturn. And just as the Mashiach came when the Great Conjunction formed at the time of his birth, I believe the Great Conjunction, how it marked his birth before man, Yahuwah's word manifests before us, before man. The Great Conjunction of December 21, 2020 marked the beginning of the processes that are necessary to bring about the final Exodus. And I believe 400 years from 1623 is 2023. And I've said that over and over and over. Come, O Yashar'al, for there will be movement. And I use the term forced migration because we are a stiff-necked people. But that will not stop the fulfillment of what the Almighty Father has established and proclaimed in his word, written and spiritually. So come, O Yashar'al, listen carefully, view these messages. Come. I invite you to visit YahsWatchman.net. There is also a form on there where you can submit, and I will respond to you, O Yashar'al. And this 144,000 in great multitude is indeed, will prove to be within the great multitude, many nations, kindreds, and tongues. So that includes both Hebrews and Gentiles that are made one by Yahushua Mashiach. The 144,000 are indeed Hebrews. And I could say Abraham, descendants of Abraham, descendants from the 12 tribes of Yashar'al. Pray, my brothers and sisters. These are trying times. I will stop right now at this point and ask you to come and examine, vet, dig into the messages on this channel and seek to discern the life in all that is presented. On that note, I say to you, Yashar'al, I salute your patience, your tolerance. I salute your hunger for set apartness. My name is Symmanayah. Again, I welcome you to the White Rose Family Channel. On that note, be encouraged. Our redemption draws near. Shalum.